If your production Redis cache is still using access keys, your application probably contain long-lived secrets sitting in app settings, pipelines, containers, or key vault references. And the scary part is, migration of managed identity is not just flipping a switch. There are SDK limitations, token issues, rollout sequencing problems, slot swap surprises, and hybrid authentication phases you need to think through carefully. In this video, we'll walk through a production-focused migration strategy for Azure Redis Cache using managed identity, including rollout planning, rollback thinking, architectural changes, monitoring considerations, and real issues teams hit during migration. And so, before the migration, a service typically stores the keys on a secure location like Key Vault, and then the service sends the endpoint name of the Redis for which it wants the keys, gets it from the Key Vault, and then sends the keys to the endpoint of Redis cache to establish the connection and then get the data or push the data to the Redis cache. After migration, the service directly talks to Redis cache using managed identity, that's the Entra auth, and gets the data or updates the data on the cache. It eliminates the need for secrets and the resource required to store the secret. So secret is eliminated and we have a centralized identity model. So I am on my Azure portal in Redis RG resource group. This resource group I have created particularly for demoing the managed identity migration for a Redis resource. So I have a managed identity which is user assigned managed identity and a Redis resource on this resource group. I'll go into the Redis resource, which will open up the overview for us. A typical Azure resource can have the access permissions managed on access control IAM, but for Redis resource, we have a different configuration under settings for authentication. So I'm going to simply click on the checkbox for enable Microsoft Entra authentication and pass my managed identity name and click on save. This will by default add data owner access for the managed identity over my Redis resource. This takes like 5 minutes or so for updating the configuration, but once it's done, the managed identity starts showing up on the list below, and by default it has data owner. Let me know if you're not comfortable with data owner and want to assign it as data contributor or data reader role. Put that in the comments and I'll be happy to help you out with that as well. But once we have the Entra authentication enabled and managed identity assigned, we have the option for disabling access keys authentication enabled. So it's actually disabled if you don't enable Entra authentication, but once you enable it, you can then actually go and disable access keys. But that is something we will not do right now. Let's dive deep into production migration strategy. I'll break it down into phases. Let's take the phase 1. So that will be enabling the identity or managed identity, which is Entra auth on Azure Redis Cache resource. We did that. Now phase 2, that's updating the application service code, where we add the SDK support for Redis Cache for making the authentication and connection using managed identity instead of access keys. The library that we will be using is standard Redis library on the official documents, and the methods to use are well documented. Let me know in the comments if you want details over it. I can help you with the precise pointers that will help you establish the code changes using the SDK support. Now, once that is done, you have to be very mindful of fallback auth, because you cannot expect to switch from using access keys to managed identity and let it fail. We need to have a fallback auth. So what I would suggest is the connection should be made using SDK support with managed identity to the Redis cache. A ping to the Redis cache should be made to ensure that we are able to successfully get the response from Redis. And if the ping fails, make sure that you catch that exception and fall back using access keys that you were previously or we were previously using. So that's the fallback auth that we should have, so that in any cloud or environment, particularly a particular Redis resource is failing to accept connection for any reason based on the managed identity, there's the fallback of previously working path that will hit in and make sure that everything is smooth. Now, when we have done the SDK support for managed identity, the testing needs to be done. And since we are talking about managed identity, you will probably not be able to test the authentication flow on your local device or on your local desktop, local host with the code changes. You'll have to deploy it to some test environment and use managed identity and see how it works. And also, when you are testing, I would recommend that you test the fallback flow as well, wherein you have deployed in the test environment. You intentionally make the intra auth uncheck on the Redis resource so that the service fails to authenticate with the managed identity, and then you test that it successfully falls back to the previous keys flow. It's able to handle the exception and use the previous auth flow. Phase 3 is about hybrid auth period. It's the period when on your Redis resource, both intra auth and access key auth are enabled, and on your service, both primarily connections are tried to be made by managed identity, but the fallback for using access key is also present. So let's go over to Azure portal and have a look. On the console, we just have to do client list, and it lists all the clients that are actively connected to the Redis resource. Here, if the user is default, that means that it's using access keys and not the managed identity. And if the user is a GUID, usually it will be the GUID of the managed identity. That means the connection is made using the managed identity and the GUID is present. And here you'll also have a vision on what SDK library is being used by the client to make that connection, and whether it's using managed identity or the default, which is access keys. So no worries, we can have the monitoring on the Redis resource level as well. So I hope this insight helps you with monitoring the failures. And of course, gradual rollout needs to happen. And while we are doing the gradual rollout, monitoring of failures needs to be actively monitored and then addressed separately. Alright, so phase 4 is disabling the access keys. So only after validation, head on to Azure portal and disable the access key checkbox on your Azure resource level. So that means now that your Azure resource will not accept any access key based connections made from any service. So that's the phase 4. Be very careful. This is the place where it will lead to breaking changes and customer impact. So make sure your validations are foolproof. Phase 5 is about rollback readiness. So you need to be very careful with how to recover quickly. You should have plan. Rollback can be required while you are rolling out. Maybe the fallback auth didn't work for some reason and you don't know why, but right now you are seeing that for a particular ring or environment it's not working and the Redis connection is failing totally. Instead of figuring out what to do, you should have a fallback path. Either if you are doing blue-green deployments, you can switch back to the previous version deployed on the staging machines and make them swap with production to relieve immediately, or you can roll back the deployment version on your containers immediately, so that again the application side code is reversed or when is rolled back to the previous stable version. The failure can happen at disabling the access keys at phase 4, which is where you immediately go and reactivate the access keys, and then later you'll figure out what went wrong. So have that readiness. And my final recommendation is, if it's a production system that you're dealing with, don't treat managed identity migration as just a security checkbox. Treat it like an authentication migration with staged rollout, monitoring, and rollback planning. And so, what actually breaks in production? First off, it's token expiry surprises. So, even the managed identity based authentication from Redis library is using some sort of token underneath. And if they are not refreshed well, if the library is not well studied and implemented, there's a possibility that you miss some intricate detail which caused the tokens to get expired. And in the production, somewhere you just realize that for that reason, the connection is failing. There's also going to be problem that can come up with unsupported SDK versions. Maybe you're using a version that's not compatible. There can be stale containers. You have made the deployment, but there's some container which is on an older version which does not have the updated library and the library code logic implemented. Then there can be like this is rare, but it can be like Redis. You have updated the Redis configuration, but it takes time. It's not propagated. So Redis resource is basically not accepting Entra for that particular Redis resource due to propagation delays.